Hello everyone, this is Annabella. For this video, let's go ahead and check out the relationship energy for Ninh and Zuer. I saw a couple of requests, but I haven't watched their drama or know much about them individually, so I didn't think about reading them before. But then I have a friend who likes them, and she requested it, so here it is. Let's go ahead and do a quick reading about their mutual relationship for this week. Of course, please remember, this is only a celebrity tarot reading. It's meant for entertainment purposes only. Take everything with a grain of salt and stay logical. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first card. The Seven of Cups. I would say the Seven of Cups is a pretty neutral card. It's not really positive or negative. It usually represents things like daydreams, confusion, or having a lot of options. Basically, your head is in the clouds. So, in the context of this relationship between two co-workers, and especially with this being the first card, which often gives insight into the beginning of a connection, I feel like this could suggest that at first they might have had multiple options of partners they could have worked with, but in the end, fate brought them together. And as they started working together, that dreamy, undefined energy this car carries kind of became part of their dynamic. It may actually help with their chemistry and their roles as they leave their emotions up in the clouds in a more open, flexible space. They can tap into their characters and emotions easier. It's like keeping things emotionally fluid so they can adapt more naturally with each other. Then their next card is the Four of Wands, which is actually a pretty nice card since I'm looking at the cards as a timeline. The second card suggests that as they continue working together, they were able to balance each other out nicely. It shows that they had compatible characteristics and a type of chemistry that aligned well. They were probably really comfortable around each other, and honestly, they might have even loved being in each other's presence. Now, if this Four of Wands had shown up with a stronger Cups card, I say there could have been some real emotional connection here, since at the end of the day, the Four of Wands can sometimes represent marriage for me. But of course, we have to stay logical. Obviously, that wouldn't literally be the case here. Still, it does suggest a strong, warm, and stable dynamic between them. The third card here is the Two of Wands. Now, I find this card pretty interesting because the way I usually see it, it's like a decision-making card or a card that represents someone hoping for something more or something better. The man in the card is holding a globe and looking out towards other landscape. He wants the world to be in his hand. So, this makes me wonder if within this relationship there was some kind of desire. Logically, it could be something like hoping for their drama to be more successful, hoping for the working relationship to last longer, or maybe even hoping that the connection could grow deeper or become something more as we consider the strong chemistry of the Four of Wands. But at the same time, this card also represents someone who has already made a decision. It makes me wonder if maybe one person was hoping for something while the other already had their plans set. Either way, this is really interesting energy, so let's take a look at the last two cards to see if things become a little clearer. Alright, so now we have the Knight of Cups. Our classic Prince Charming, but in my experience, he doesn't always get the princess. Sometimes he does, but more often than not, I see him offering his cups and not really getting what he wants in return. Anyway, the Knight of Cups is a knight that's all about romance. He's clearly interested in love. He's literally holding a cup, which represents emotion. And I feel like this pairs well with the strong chemistry from the Four of Wands and the longing or desire hinted at in the Two of Wands. Now, we have a clear figure who seems to hold a romantic interest. So, maybe this is Ninh showing some feelings or attraction towards Zuer. But the thing with the entertainment industry is that there are so many people and so many feelings going around, just like the Seven of Cups. So I usually look for stronger emotional or committed energy before I say something's truly developing. And in this case, we still don't have any major arcana in the spread either, which tells me this might not be that deep or destined. It could just be a one-sided interest. And with the last card being the Five Cups, I feel like it probably confirms that things didn't really progress between them. Now, I don't necessarily see this card as pure sadness or anything, but it does tie back to what I mentioned earlier with the Two of Wands, where I felt like someone had already made up their mind or had their plans set. So maybe Zuer still has a lot of plans for her career. And that's possibly why we're seeing this Five of Cups. It could represent someone who's focusing on certain aspect of life while ignoring others. In this case, it kind of reflects how the Knight of Cups is offering emotion or interest, but there's no clear response or energy coming back from Zuer. I mean, she's still quite young, right? I think she only recently returned to the entertainment industry, so she's probably hoping to do more projects and stay focused on her path. So even if she did enjoy the chemistry and the balance they had in the beginning, I feel like she knows how to wrap things up and move on to the next collaboration. That say, I do think they're probably friends, or at the very least, they're the type of coworkers who work really well together. The Four of Wands still stand out to me as a card that shows harmony, like a family or team vibe. So maybe they've built that kind of connection now. But yeah, this whole spread has no major arcana, which tells me that this is all more in the moment energy. Nothing here feels permanent or deeply life changing. So things could still shift in the future, but for now, I say they're just friends. I think I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in purchasing a reading from me, check the description box for my contact info. And as always, I've been really good these past few weeks at checking the comments and seeing what you guys suggest. So keep those coming. I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.